Hello, this is Lucas, and in this video we will discuss how we can create and delete files in Java. So the first thing that we need to do is we need to import ourselves two classes. So the first thing that we need to do is import the file class. So it's java.io.file. And this will allow us just to create, delete, modify, edit, read files. Then the other one that we will need is we need to import ourselves the IO exception class. So we do java.io.io exception, and then this is just used just to handle any errors that we get. So we went over the try and catch statements in the last two videos, if you want to check them out, that we will be using in this video. So we need to create ourselves a try firstly, and then we'll create ourselves the catch. Now in the catch, we just write IO exception. Now we will get an error in here for now, but this will go away once we write the code in the try block here. So now we will create ourselves a file, and we'll just write, I will do file name for now, and do equals new file. And then in here we have to specify the name of the file that we want to create. So I'll just write, we'll do file just for now, file, and then we have to pass in .txt or any other format that we want to create. So now this will not actually create the file. This will just, it will just tell us what kind of file we want to use or create. So now we need to write ourselves an if statement in here. And then we will pass in the name that we have here. So we'll just do file name. And then we'll do .create new file. And this will create ourselves a new file. Now if we successfully create this new file, this piece of code here will get executed. Else, if we fail to create the file for whatever reason, we will execute this piece of code here. Now I must say, we can specify the path of where we want to create a file. If we don't specify the path, it will just be in our main directory here in the source folder. So now we can create ourselves a print, and we can just write file created successfully. Now in here, if the file is not created successfully, we can just write file failed to create, for example, just like that. Now actually in here we do have to pass in E as well, and then so this will create ourselves a new file. Now if we create the file successfully, we'll just print out that the file has been created successfully. But if there's any problems like regarding the path, or if that file already exists, we will then not create that file. So then this will be false, so then we'll just print out that a file failed to create. Now in here we can just write, for example, we can just get ourselves a print statement, and we just write an error occurred while creating the file. Now after that, we do have to pass in the e.print stack trace. And this is about it. This is all we need to create ourselves this file in this path. So because we haven't mentioned a path, we'll just create it in the just in our main directory here. So if we run this code now, you can see we have file created successfully. So this is successful. Now you can see that it doesn't come up here. That's because we do need to refresh this. So we can refresh it. We refresh this. And I'll just open and close it. Refresh again, and there you go. It takes a bit of time, but you can see that we have created ourselves a file, the file.txt that we have mentioned here. So that's how we can create ourselves a file. If you need it to be in a specific folder or directory, you can just put the path inside of here, followed by the actual name of the file. So this is how we can create ourselves a file. Now to delete the file, it's pretty similar to how we create the file. So first we need to specify the file that we want to delete. So we do the exact same thing. So file, we'll just do file name again, equal to new file, then we'll just pass in the path or the actual just name of it. So you can see we have file.txt, so we have to pass in file.txt inside of here. Now in here we don't have to use the try and catch statements, we can just use ourselves an if. Inside of this if we'll call the file name, and then we'll also do an else after that. Now inside of the if, we'll write dot delete, and then this will delete the file. Now if the file deletes successfully, this will return true, then we will execute this piece of code in here. But if the file does not delete successfully, this will be false, and then we will execute this piece of code in here. So we can just write ourselves two print statements. So we can just write file deleted successfully, and then we can actually pass in the actual name of our file. So we can just do file name dot get name, and then this will just print out the name of our file. Now in here we can just write, we can do the exact same thing, file failed to delete, and then we can also just pass in the name of our file. We'll do file name dot get name. So now I'm just trying to delete this file here. So if this is true, if it deletes successfully, this will return a true, and then we'll execute this piece of code. If this fails to delete the file, this will be false, and then we'll just execute this piece of code instead. So firstly, I can probably I'll add 2 ones because that file does not exist. So if we try to delete that, you can see file failed to delete, and this is the file that we were trying to delete. So file failed to delete, and then the actual name that we were trying to delete. Now if we actually successfully delete the file, you can see if we refresh this, the file is still there. Now if we run this again with the actual name of the file that we want to delete, you can see file deleted successfully, and then this is the file that we deleted. So now if we refresh this, you can see the file now is gone. So that's about it. That's how we can create and delete files. Stay tuned for the next video that I will show you how we can actually write into these files here. So how we can create a file and write into a file, or write into an existing file. And then after I'll create a video on how we can actually read the file inside, like the content of the file. So stay tuned, and I'll see you then. Peace out.